My 25M best friend 25M sleeps with married women, and he crossed the line last week. My best friend has a thing for married older women. Over the years, he has had surprising success in this area. It started when he was 18 and slept with a married 30-year-old woman with a kid. They were both waiters at a restaurant, and after months of flirting, she slept with him. In the 7 years since, there have been 12 of them, all married or engaged, with ages ranging from 30 to 52. In the beginning, I thought the whole thing was funny, but as the years have gone on, I have grown disgusted by this behavior. If we are at a bar and he sees a bachelorette party, he is hitting on the bride-to-be. He coaches his nephew's little league team just to meet the moms. He's had to leave 3 different jobs because he was sleeping with married coworkers, and the husbands found out, leading to confrontations while he was on the job. The last straw for me was last week. I recently got engaged, and my fiancé's family threw us an engagement party. It wasn't a surprise, so my fiancé and I both invited who we wanted, and one of the people I wanted there was one of my former managers at work. Let's call him Tom. I am a CPA at a big firm, and Tom was really a mentor to me when I started. He left to work in industry, but we kept in touch and are still close. Tom is 40 and just the nicest guy you will ever meet. So he and his wife 38F come to our engagement party. I had never met his wife before. She is beautiful, by the way. And at one point during the party, I see my friend talking to Tom's wife while Tom took a phone call. I immediately go over and interrupt the conversation and pull my friend aside and tell him to not even think about it. My friend says he wasn't, which was crap, but I thought he took my warning seriously. I was wrong. A few weeks later, Tom calls me and tells me that his wife had been acting strange since the engagement party, and he went through her phone and found text messages with another guy. The texts included nudes exchanged on both sides, and it was very clear that they had met up for sex. Tom had confronted his wife the night before, and of course it was my friend who she'd slept with. Tom was devastated, crying on the phone. He wasn't even angry, he just wanted to know why she did it and was asking me to talk to my friend to get some more details. I called my friend right after I got off the phone with Tom and exploded on him, basically ending our 20-year friendship. It's been a week and my friend hasn't stopped apologizing. Other than his despicable behavior with married women, he has been a good friend to me. We have been like brothers since kindergarten. It hurts to throw away someone who has been such a big part of your life, but I just can't be party to this anymore. I'm making the right decision, right? Edit. I do want to add that aside from my friend's bad morals with married women, he has been a really good friend to me over the years. If I needed anything, he was the first one there. He's never slept with any of the girls I've dated and never tried. A lot of people are also saying that my fiancé would be next, but that is ignoring the fact that my fiancé would never cheat on me. A cheater has a personality defect. My friend clearly has one, but so do the women that cheat on their husbands. They are all inherently narcissistic and care only about their personal gratification. My friend hit on my fiancé before we met, and she shot him down abruptly then. I'm not worried about her. But I am sick over Tom, and I do bear responsibility for what happened. Relevant comments. Druscarlet. Yes. He did not respect your request. He lied to your face and will do it again. Ruining other people's marriage for sport is sad. I would not put hitting on your fiancé past this sick guy. OP. He actually hit on my fiancé first the night we met, and she shot him down. My friend usually isn't shot down, so I felt I needed to go and talk to this girl, and now we are getting married. He wouldn't cross that line with me, I don't think, but who knows if she was into him. Beginning stop 17646. Although your friend is a selfish butthole and needs therapy, it takes 2 to tango. Every single one of those women should have and could have said no, but they didn't. For whatever reason, they chose to cheat on their spouses. I am pissed for you, though. BC, you asked him personally not to do it again, especially towards someone you looked up to. He still did it. He's not trustworthy whatsoever. What if he tries again with your wife or someone else's wife in your family? OP. I justified his behavior when I was younger because he wasn't the one married. I thought, what the hell is wrong with these women that they would throw their lives away for sex? But deliberately trying to tempt these women started to disgust me a few years ago. Disastrous assist 90. You need to be honest with the fact that you were totally fine with him destroying other people's lives right in front of you, but because it didn't directly impact you, you excused it. OP. But I wasn't fine with it, I just wasn't ready to end a 20-year friendship over his poor decisions. OP on why Tom called him. If you know anything about public account, especially in large firms, you would know that you spend a lot of time with the people you work with. If you are in audit, you spend months and months literally in the same room as your coworkers. You eat all 3 meals with them and see them more than your family. Tom was good to me and we became friends. He called me because it was my friend who his wife slept with. It wasn't to get comfort or support. What his fiancée thinks of his friend, and does she know he sleeps with married women? She's known from the start. She doesn't like it when I go out with him. And my fiancée is grossed out by him. He hit on her first the night we met, and she shot him down. I'm not worried about my fiancée. Remember that we had been friends for a very long time before he started doing this stuff. It's not so easy to just cut someone off because they do things you disagree with. We were like brothers. I thought he would do anything for me. Update. It's been about a week since I posted, and I wanted to give an update on how things ended up with my now former friend. I agreed to meet with him last night and hear him out. So we went for a drink, and he apologized profusely for putting me in this spot and said he would never do that again. So I took this opportunity to really express how disgusted I was with his behavior and that I couldn't be friends with someone that intentionally tries to ruin families. I tell him Tom and his wife have 2 children, they were happily married, and he's now destroyed their family. I ask if that is something he feels bad about. He says yes, but I can tell he's crapping. I ignore the fact that he's lying because I want to know how all of this went down. Tom's wife didn't want to share a lot of detail with him, so I promised that I would find out as much as I could. So I asked to see the texts between them. He resists, but I threaten to walk out and never talk to him again, so he gives me the phone. He contacted her on Facebook after the party, and they talked there for a day or 2 before switching to text. The conversations turned sexual very quickly, and it was clear that Tom's wife was interested in a quick fling. She says in the texts that she loves her husband, but that doesn't stop her. I'm shocked by this, but my friend isn't. This isn't the first happily married woman who took up his offer for strings-free sex. Beyond what is in the texts, my friend says Tom's wife just wanted a temporary escape, to be someone she can't be with her husband, and once she got it out of her system, she would just go back to normal. Then he starts telling me what she was like when they were together, but I stop him. I say we aren't teenagers anymore and none of this is funny. I tell him I'm done with this, and both you and Tom's wife disgust me. I leave and block his number. I know I should have done this years ago, but I didn't. I call Tom after I leave and lie. I say I wasn't able to get any detail. I can't tell him that his wife just wanted some wild sex. That isn't something I would want to know. Tom and his wife are going to go to counseling. If it were me, I'd divorce her. The level of disrespect is off the charts, but maybe Tom is a better man than me. My fiancée is happy that I have finally cut off my now former best friend. But I am sad. I hope he gets help someday before he F with the wrong guy's wife. Thanks for listening. Relevant comments. Alan Kalicious. You are making a massive mistake in not telling Tom, and it makes me doubt your sincerity. If you know that she purposefully betrayed him for meaningless sex, why would you not tell him? Who knows what she said or promised that can be contradicted or shown to be more lies with your truth? After years of applauding and supporting your scumbag friend's behavior, this is your one chance to help someone. OP. He already knows they had sex, and he's seen a lot of the texts. I just couldn't tell him that she wants to have wild sex with someone else that she doesn't want to have with him. She apparently just isn't attracted to him like that. He doesn't bring that out in her. I wouldn't want to know that. I don't know how I would have sex with her ever again. No, she thought they of me. Next story. My team sent me a bag of garbage while I was recovering from surgery. I'm currently covering a maternity leave and had to go in for a not insignificant surgery. It was complicated by the fact I seem to be working in the real-life version of Mean Girls, most frequently with a Regina George stand-in. I ended up having my surgery and negotiating remote work for my recovery. I'm feeling a lot less stressed, even though I logged back in the day after my procedure and got right back to it. Today, 2 coworkers I've gotten close to came by for a visit, and the weirdest work gift situation ever came up. They both gave me a lovely gift and treated me to dinner, and then sheepishly looked at each other, sighed, and said the office had a gift as well. I could tell they felt weird about it. It was a reusable shopping bag filled with garbage. A used pair of unwanted, scuffed shoes, several junk mail brochures, expired tea from the office kitchen, some dusty old plaques from the 90s, and a Sublime CD. One of the songs is called Date Rape. I was taken aback. I asked what this was supposed to be. They told me the people at the office said they should try to keep a straight face like this was a legitimate gift, that it was supposed to give me a laugh. It did not. I said I really appreciated the thoughtful gift dinner visit the 2 of them had given me, but that this joke gift wasn't really appropriate and didn't fit the relationship we all have as coworkers. Rather than gentle ribbing, it felt like being in grade 9 gym class all over again. They apologized profusely, and I asked them to take the bag back with them on the way out with the injury recovery. I can't actually leave my apartment for the next while because I couldn't get it down to the garbage myself. Don't get me wrong, I like joke gifts. I've given them and received them in the past. But when I've been on a team that did this, A, it wouldn't be actual garbage, and B, it would be followed by something thoughtful restaurant deliver a grocery taxi gift card set. They just gave me actual garbage. And I'm going to be asked how I liked my gift on Monday, and I have no idea what to say. Typically, I would do a warm thank you and find something to like about a gift, even if it wasn't my thing. But what do you even say about this? That I was confused? That I'm not sure what to say? I don't really want to laugh along with it. I thought it was awful. Any advice would be much appreciated. I've not really encountered a situation like this before, and most of my friends are just as stumped. Update. I got asked how I liked the gift on a call this morning, and I said I didn't really understand it or have a place for anything in the bag, and couldn't get down to take it out myself, and so asked the coworkers to take it back with them. They seemed to honestly think I would enjoy it. It's so bizarre. I'm so glad I'm working from home. As for my couple nice coworkers, it's definitely a case of the office being so awful that a bag of garbage didn't seem that bad. Relevant comments. Random boy. Their response just makes me even sadder. Props to you for being the bigger person and trying to rise above it. I, on the other hand, might be looking for creative revenge, like those sites that let you ship exotic animal dung to your enemies. How much longer until the person you're covering for comes back? OP. 6 more months. Unless she comes back a bit early, then 4 months. I wonder whether she'll come back at all though. Update 2. I can't remember if I ever sent a formal update to getting a bag of garbage from my terrible ex-manager. I had a small update in the post. Re. The most awkward team conference call the next day. Regina really did think I would play along, asking how I liked my gift in a joking tone, and I straight up said I didn't understand or appreciate the gift, nor could I get down the stairs to dispose of it and had to send it with the coworkers, who I then thanked warmly for the actual gift they gave. Maybe it wasn't the most mature response, but honestly I hit the ground hard as soon as I could metaphorically. The surgery really did knock a lot out of me looking for a new job. I spent a few weeks resting up and getting my work done, but refused anything above and beyond my role. Which might sound terrible, but Regina had a bad habit of promising the actual impossible. like a custom, usable typeface designed in an afternoon, or a massive marketing campaign. She actually referenced major artist launch campaigns, like Taylor Swift executed in under a week with no budget. I wish I was exaggerating. It will surprise exactly no one that a small, family-run firm is not a great place to work. Between the agents doing lines in the bathroom, throwing metal staplers around the office, to Regina calling up random employees to loudly berate them on the phone, none of the office walls reached the ceiling, so you could hear everything, and talking about how hard she partied with the artists we represented. I have never heard so many stories about vomiting in the street in my life. It was definitely something. Anyway, I handed in my 2 weeks notice a couple months after the garbage incident. Regina was weird the whole time, vacillating between super bitter, "I hope you enjoy your next job because I'll be stuck here forever," and weird weepy declarations of how much they'd miss me, accompanied by awkward hugs. I stayed in touch with a few coworkers, all of whom left shortly after I did. We still chat every now and then, sometimes to make sure it all actually happened and wasn't a collective fever dream. I'm happily working back in tech, full-time remote. I've worked a couple gigs over the past 5 years, and while startup life can be a little bro-why, the worst I've had to deal with gift-wise was the rise and fall of branded pop sockets. Next story. Am I the butthole for not knowing about my sister-in-law's allergy and my husband's reaction in front of his family? My husband, 36M, and I, 30F, have been married for 6 years. We have 2 kids, 4F, 2M. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. We didn't discuss this before marriage, but when I gave birth to our daughter, I just couldn't manage working, taking care of our daughter, and doing all the house chores. There were times when I needed help at home, but I felt like I couldn't ask for help because I wasn't bringing in any money. It was also very difficult for me to be financially dependent on my husband. I never asked for anything for me because he sometimes voiced how he felt a lot of pressure as the sole provider. Fast forward to 3 days ago. His younger sister lives in another country and comes to town once or twice a year. Last week, she told him she would visit. My husband and I invited the family for dinner. We were all having a good time when my Sil started coughing and had trouble breathing. It was then I knew she was horribly allergic to peanuts. I later knew that she had gone into anaphylactic shock a few times before. We all rushed to her side to help. I then got slapped on the face from behind, not so hard, but it did sting. I was facing away from my husband, so I didn't see it coming. I tried to explain that no one told me before. I had only seen her a few times after the wedding and never cooked for her. He was yelling at me the whole time I was trying to explain myself. When I told him that he knew I would be doing all the cooking for tonight, then why didn't think of telling me about it? He pushed me down the couch and smacked me on the arms, back, and the back of my head. His family rushed to us and stopped him. They checked if I was okay for a minute, then went back to my Sil's side. His older brother stayed by my side to ensure I was okay and to see if I needed anything. After a few minutes, my husband came back to the living room and acted like nothing happened. My Bill asked him if he had told me about their sister's allergy before, and he didn't answer. I told him I never knew about it until now. My in-laws checked on me one more time and then excused themselves. Only his older brother stayed with us. He asked me if it was the first time my husband laid his hands on me. I couldn't answer with my husband sitting across from us. He suggested we take some time to process and think about what just happened. I left that night with my Bill and took my kids with me. I'm still with him and his wife. My family lives in another country. Both my Bill and his wife suggest I stay until my husband realizes what he really did. My husband did apologize but said he panicked and was scared for his little sister. They are very close, and growing up he was like a father to her. He kept repeating that if I cared enough about his family, I would have asked him if anyone has any allergies, since I was the one cooking for the night, and he blamed me for his brother reaction. I don't know where to go from here. I have no relatives in here to stay with until I sort everything out. I only have one friend and can't stay with her. I grew up in a house where being grabbed by the face or arm was normal. But what happened that night was a little too much. I want my kids and I don't want to lose them over my decision. My husband suggested couples therapy yesterday. I'm thinking about getting a divorce, or should I just let it slide and start therapy? I really have to think about it all because I know my family won't support me with my decision and I will be on my own. Edit. My sister-in-law is okay. She's not angry with me for what happened. She even texted twice to check on me and the kids and apologized for not mentioning her allergy before. His family has always been good to me. Relevant comments. Disillusion Edcat. Well, definitely NTA. But this worries me. He asked me if it was the first time my husband laid his hands on me. I couldn't answer with my husband sitting across from us. So this wasn't the first time, was it? Please consider if you can ever feel safe with your husband before you think about couples therapy or anything else. I'm sorry this happened to you and wish you a lot of strength. Up. OP. It wasn't, but he never slapped me before. Thank you. Aggravating style 544. That means he is escalating. It will only get worse. He has isolated you from work and friends by making it impossible for you to leave the house. Are your Bill and Sil able to help you find a safe way out? Good Focus 2665. NTA. The fact that Bill is taking your side should tell you that you need to leave your husband. You will need to start preparing for single life. He was abusive before by putting so much pressure on you that you had to quit your job. He has slowly been escalating it, and now it's come to this. It's not going to get better. You need to be strategic if you want to leave. OP. I think I will just agree to couples therapy as a delay tactic until I get a job and try to plan my exit. I can't survive financially right now. Thank you. Tricks even. Never take abusers to therapy. They only get better at hiding it because therapy teaches them how. OP. I know, but I need time. Right now, I can't even support myself financially, let alone 2 kids. Update. I was hesitant about posting on Reddit at first, but I decided to give as many details as possible and put myself out there to get outside insight and to make sure if I'm to blame for what happened to my Sil. Up until my post got a few comments, I was still sure it was somehow my fault, but I'm glad I posted about it here. Most of you suggested I stay with my brother-in-law. I couldn't bring myself to ask him for help if I can stay with them until I sort everything out. Last night he asked me if it's okay to talk about it now. I told him some things because I couldn't lay it all out. I told him that it wasn't the first time and nothing was new to me that night except for the slap. I asked him if he can help me find a safe way out because I'm scared to go back and need help looking up for resources. Both him and his wife assured me that my kids and I are more than welcome to stay with them until I get back on my feet. They made it clear that they're willing to help us in any way possible. Bill said I have the right to decide what to do about it, that he could even drive me to report my husband, if that's what I want, but just don't get him involved. I get it. I thanked them for everything and promised them to try and find a job ASAP. He also mentioned that my mill offered to pay 3 months' rent and childcare if I'm planning to leave, but he thinks it's better for me to stay with them for now and promised he will make sure my mill follows through once I find a job, because it will be more helpful then since it will be hard taking care of the kids and working. He told me to never feel like I owe them something because I would have done the same for them. I met my husband through my bill when I worked with him for 6 months, and that he doesn't want my children to grow up wondering why no one loved them enough to step up and help their mother, or end up abused or being abusers in the future. His words made wonder if he referred to his own brother as an abuser, then why am I still trying to look for ways to justify it or accept the blame? Although I'm not planning to get the police involved, but my Bill's wife is helping me document everything. She took pictures of the marks the moment we made it to their house. She's also helping me get him to admit to everything that happened that night and before. To this moment, I have 2 texts and 1 recorded call along with other pictures I took before. I don't know why I ever took them because I never planned on doing anything. She said, even if I'm not planning to press charges now, I could document everything just in case for later, and citing safety would be enough reason for my delay. As for my family, I called my parents this morning, and they weren't happy with what I told them. It's nothing I didn't expect. I knew they would not take a divorced daughter with 2 kids in. My cousin called me later and was so sad to hear about my situation and promised to send me some money to help. I'm not gonna lie, I never asked for help before, but when she offered, I found myself ready to accept. I really want to make things work for my kids. I don't want to lose them. By the way, both my Bill and his wife, on top of letting me stay with them without any financial contribution. They do things. If I cook, my Bill or his wife do the dishes. They both work and share the chores. Yesterday, I only did the laundry and some cleaning around the house, and they insisted I do nothing for dinner. While I'm glad to have some time to rest throughout the day, I can't shake the feeling that I should do more since I'm not paying for anything. I also want to mention that I'm planning to see a lawyer this week to understand my options and start the divorce process. I'm hoping this will help me take the right steps to ensure the safety and well-being of my kids. I'm also planning to start looking for a job this week, but I need to get my documents first. I'm beyond thankful for everything my in-laws doing for me, but I'm still scared, and I don't know what I'm even scared of precisely now that I decided I won't go back to him. But yesterday I couldn't close my eyes and get some sleep. Whenever I close them, I imagine my kids getting hurt. And if I'm being honest, I still feel like at some point I will mess everything up, but I hope I don't. Thank you for taking the time to read my post and all the advice you gave me. Edit. I'm sorry, I just realized I've been referring to him as my husband instead of soon-to-be ex-husband. I'm still adjusting. Relevant comments. Omgoblin. Yeah, talk to a lawyer, because child support and alimony are meant for cases like this. I don't know why you are so afraid of losing your kids. It's not going to happen. He's responsible for you and the kids, even if you divorce until you get on your feet enough to be financially independent. This is assuming a country with decent marriage laws like most of the US has. Anyways, you seem fine with being abused, but think of your children and grow a spine for them. OP. I'm not. Maybe it took me 3 years to realize it, but I know better now and trying my best to ensure my kids' safety and well-being. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel James Stories.